Hi, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Hi, sir. We can able to hear you. I can able to
Priyanka,
hear you.
Priyanka, Priyanka, can you hear me? Okay, Himanshu, we are going to start our class. Okay, this is being our second demo session of Linux administration. Okay,
Okay, sir.
first yesterday what we have gone through the yesterday's class we have gone through what are the yesterday's was history of Unix and Linux. Okay,
So
history of Unix and
just
Linux
want to
operating
confirm.
system.
Okay, sir.
Tell me.
Okay.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
first of, because I have two to three queries early.
Tell me.
The
Tell
first
me. Tell
thing,
me.
because Red Hat is a you have to purchase it, so you will provide that thing, or the course is generic one. It doesn't based on any particular enterprise or Red Hat
Okay.
means certification.
Okay. The answer
So
for this
first,
will come by end of class. Reason being, the
sorry,
answer of this question you have put, the answer to
Sir, voice is
Your
breaking, sir.
question, you are saying, no, you wanted to know whether it is actually specific to Red Hat.
Sir, cannot able to hear you.
Is it now clear?
Yes, sir. Now it is very clear.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Himanshu.
Yes, sir.
System is fine here. Now is it clear? Okay. Okay.
No, sir.
You
It
are
is breaking.
asking,
Noise is
is our
there.
code to any, that is what you are saying. If you done this code, what is the problem? Is it now audible?
Yes, sir. It is.
Himanshu.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Himanshu.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Thing is that our codes are like Linux administration course which we are going to take is not specific to any vendor like Red Hat or any specific. The course or the
Okay, sir.
code or the contents which are actually mentioned, the contents or the course contents which have been mentioned here will work with any vendor of Linux. Any vendor of Linux. What
Okay,
to
sir.
understand?
Yes, sir.
Any vendor
Superb.
doesn't mean that it is
Yes,
very
sir.
specific to. It is not. Doesn't mean that it is specific to any vendor like a Red Hat. The same code, the same thing, you can actually port it to any other Linux vendor and it will work fine. And I already told you by the end of this class, you will get the answer regarding this question. But you are asking starting itself, so I'm just giving. After end of this class, like after knowing the Unix history,
Okay.
Linux history, and the next step, you will get to understand why we are learning Red Hat, why we are actually using Linux, what are the properties, features, making Red Hat the number one in server operating system. Okay.
Hello,
So
sir.
Sure, sir.
apart from that, hello Priyanka, tell me.
Yeah, I'm new to this app, so that I just muted myself now. I
Okay.
want to know that what would be learning throughout this course, because I took
Okay.
shell scripting. It's on Ubuntu.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I
This
want to know what
actually,
outcomes we will get from this course, so that it might be useful for me, sir.
madam. Okay. Madam, it's better you have asked this question. The
Yeah,
answer to your question will arrive by the end of this class by default,
thank you,
because
sir.
this course, this demo session is actually going to just not give you about what is Linux, what is Unix history, but also why we are learning and how we are learning and how it can be ported to other things also. Okay,
Okay,
and
sir.
wherever in which professions means in which computer profession we need to have the idea between Unix and Linux, that also will come. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we will start with our second demonstration. Actually, yesterday was the first demonstration.
Do we
Okay.
have any recordings, sir?
Yes, yes. After you pay the amount, if you are satisfied with everything and you pay the fees and all, they are going to
Okay.
actually provide you the all the demo sessions which have been previously held. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So yesterday's focus was on history of Unix and Linux. Okay. Why we are learning Unix and Linux, you know that. Okay. First, Unix history. Unix operating system was actually started as a project named Multix, as you can see here, named Multix. Multix stands for Multiplex Information Computing System. Okay. This
The voice is breaking, sir.
started in
Yeah, I'm
1965
getting the same
by
breaking.
three companies. Three companies are organizations like AT&T Bell Labs. You can see here AT&T Bell Labs. Now can you hear me? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. It is better.
Hello?
Yeah, it's okay, sir.
Yes, sir. It is good.
It is good. Okay. Okay. Unix OS, before the history of Unix OS started as a project named Multix, which stands for Multiplex Information Computing System, way back in 1965. Okay. This in 1965, there was a project by these organizations called AT&T Bell Labs, GE, and MIT. Okay. This AT&T Bell Labs stands for American Telephone and Telegraph. GE stands for General Electrical, and MIT was a university, Massachusetts Information Institute of Technology. Okay, they developed a project for creating an operating system at that time in 1965. This operating system was written 100% in assembly language. Okay, assembly language. Problem with this was it was also very crude and it was not so good. So they dumped this Multix operating system to create another project which is called Unix. Here you can see Unix, UNICS, which stands for Uniplex Information Computing System. This was actually a project which had been being held in 1969 by companies like this, AT&T Bell Labs. Okay. This project Unix was implemented in 80% C language and 20% assembly language. Okay, this project was actually taken by this scientist called Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie. Ken Thompson is the original creator of Unix operating system, and Dennis Ritchie, as you can see here, is the creator of C programming language. Okay, got it? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Himanshu? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now
we
my
can hear
voice
you.
is clear? Yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
Later, this Unix operating systems, Unix, this is a kind of operating system project held in 1969, okay, by AT&T Bell Labs. The company name is AT&T Bell Labs. Written 100%. This code was written in 80% C language, 20% in assembly language. Okay, this was done by two scientists, Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie was the original inventor of C programming language, and the Ken Thompson is the person who has actually created the Unix OS. Okay. Later, the same Unix OS, though written in C, 80% C, was very bad. Actually, there are some problems. Okay, because of assembly language like performance and other things which couldn't be implemented. So the Unix was dumped. Again, a new project was created to create a new OS, which is called Unix. As you can see here, Unix. This is the original Unix operating system, written 100% in C programming language way back in 1973. Got it?
Yes.
Got
Yes,
it? Himanshu?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. This Unix operating system was created in 1973. Okay. Now comes the question. Are we using the same Unix operating system which was created in 1973? Answer me, Himanshu and Priyanka.
No.
Unix
No,
was
sir.
created in 1973. Are you thinking that we are still using the same Unix operating system which was developed in 1973?
No, we are using the modified
Answer.
versions.
Perfect. Okay. Now you got to understand. The Unix operating system which was created in 1973 was the base or the core operating system, base version. Okay. Base version. What is the meaning of base version is it was created at that time with very few options, means very few functionalities. It is, though it is named the same till now, but it is a base operating system or a core operating system written way back. Now the operating system which Unix which are using are Linux is far more better than the original operating system and far more powerful and has far more utilities. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now you got to understand how Unix came into existence. First came Multix. I'll show you a diagram. Okay, I'll show you a diagram how it came into existence. Okay, first came okay. You see, first later was actually programmed in 100% C language. Unix came. Got to understand? Got to understand? Himanshu and Priyanka, you got to understand? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, this Unix version was called the base version or core version. Core version. Okay. Later, this Unix base version and the core version in 1974 was distributed to different universities or licensed to different universities for educational purpose. Over the years, hundreds of scientists, students, and other Linux or Unix enthusiasts worked upon it and and created different utilities in such a way that it became a completely new OS with different features. Okay. Later, with lot of extensions, with lot of improvements, you can see here to the base version, and several flavors were introduced by organizations and companies. Okay. What are the different flavors? Okay. Tell me.
So, see, sir, we
Okay.
cannot able to see this. Sir,
What?
hello, sir.
Tell me.
So we cannot. So actually, we cannot able to see anything where what is when it means any changes that you are making on the system. We cannot able to see it. Even the images, if you had shown any image, we couldn't able to uh, see that because yeah, now it is live. Earlier it was like uh, we cannot able to see that
Okay.
what was happening on the screen.
Okay. Okay. See,
So
in
so you can start from the
1973.
image, sir.
Okay.
Uh,
Now
yes,
you
sir.
can see
Yes, sir.
Multics came in 1965. Okay. Multics
Okay. Yes, sir.
1965.
65.
Okay. Then
Yes, sir.
came Unix 1969. Okay.
Okay.
Then came
Yes, sir.
1973. I got to 1973. Unix came. Okay. Okay. This was the thing. Okay. When the Unix came in 1973, this version of Unix was the base or core version only. Okay. Later,
Okay.
this Unix in 1974 was licensed to different educational institutes. Okay.
Okay.
This 1974 was OS was licensed to universities and for educational purposes. Later, with a lot of improvements to the base version, several favors of Unix operating system were created by different organizations. The Unix kernel, which was developed in 1973, was taken over by different organizations and companies to create their own Unix favors. Okay, see different in some of the Unix vendors and their operating system is mentioned here. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here I have mentioned very clearly some of the different vendors and their operating systems. Okay. First vendor and operating system was AT&T Bell Labs was the vendor. Vendor means the person who has created and been selling the Unix operating system. The name of the operating system created by AT&T Bell Labs was System 5 Release 3. Okay.
Yes,
Next
sir.
was Sun Microsystem has taken the same Unix operating system and developed Sun Solaris operating system. Okay.
Okay.
IBM has taken the same Unix operating system and developed its own operating system by the name AIX. Okay.
Okay.
Similarly, these are actually
Yes,
the
sir.
different vendors and their unique operating systems. Okay. Okay. What is the difference? First thing, though the above Unix are all Unix flavors like System 5 Release 3, Sun Solaris, AIX, though are the same Unix operating systems taken from the same original Unix and renamed and modified accordingly and released as their own OSs. Okay, though these above distributions were actually written
Sir,
from based on original Unix, these operating systems, all these operating systems are not free operating systems. They are licensed version of different companies and are not freely available. Himanshu, what is the question?
So we cannot.
Okay, these above operating systems are all based on Unix, but these operating systems which have been created by this taken over and from the original Unix and created their own operating systems. Problem was that these Unix operating systems are not freely available. They are licensed versions, means you need to have to pay for using these operating systems. And moreover, these operating systems which I am showing here are modified according to their own hardware requirements. Means in order to use this Sun Solaris operating system, you need to buy Sun Spark machines, means specific hardware where you want to install this operating system. So this way, these OSs need their own specific hardware. Okay. For example, I am mentioning here, if you want to use the Sun OS, Sun operating system, that Sun Solaris operating system, we need to purchase Sun Spark machines. Okay. Similarly, if you want to use HP UX operating system, then you need to purchase HP company specific hardware in order to run this HP UX operating system. Though these operating systems are very powerful, but they have been specifically modified to suit a specific hardware and hardware architecture. Okay, and all the above Unix flavors are server editions only. Means these operating systems cannot be used for client-based operating systems. All the above operating Unix flavors which have been created here are server editions only, means they can't be used for client operating systems. Okay. Himanshu, can you hear me? Priyanka Reddy, can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Any doubts? Any doubts? No. Okay.
I don't have.
Now we are going to Linux operating system. How Linux came into existence. Okay. Till now we got to understand how Unix operating system was created and how are the different flavors of Unix operating system were created by different organizations, and different names of the different Unix operating system have been mentioned here. And what are the drawbacks of these Unix operating system flavors is all these operating systems are paid operating systems, means we can't use them without, like, and these operating systems are modified according to their own hardware requirements. So in order to run this operating Unix or flavor operating system like System 5 Release 3, Sun, Solaris, AIX, Iris, FreeBSD, HP Unix, you need to buy specific hardware for those things. Okay. Now, history of Linux operating system. Linux operating system is a kernel developed by Linus Torvalds in 1991 in Helsinki University. He created his own Linux kernel based on a Minix operating system, which was based on Unix OS. He then posted this Unix kernel in the internet. Later, open source foundation, which has been created in order to create the main funda of this open source foundation is they wanted to create an operating system which is totally free and Unix kind. Okay. Later, this Linux operating system was worked upon by many open source entities, submitted to different organizations. These open source people started to actually take this Linux kernel, develop their own Linux application, and slowly this kernel with all these applications became the Linux operating system. Himanshu, got it?
So
Himanshu, got it?
last point,
Priyanka, got it?
the last thing.
What? Tell me.
So the last thing.
Okay,
Means,
this Linux operating.
they have. Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Go ahead. Yeah. So means they have created. So what they have created means what you want to say that they have created a system. They built their operating system, and then the
Linux
just for the yeah. So,
Linux operating system.
So
first, Linux operating system came into existence as a kernel, developed kernel.
Okay.
Kernel is a core of the operating system which actually directly interacts with the hardware. Linux operating system started as a kernel developed by a person called Linus Torvalds in 1991 in Helsinki University. Okay.
Okay.
This kernel developed by him was submitted to different open source organizations worldwide, and the open source people who actually taken this kernel developed utilities on it, and totally they developed user level applications and integrated this kernel with all the applications, and they all created a Linux operating system. Got it?
Okay. Yes, sir. Good.
Okay, Linux operating system was started as a kernel developed by Linus Torvalds. Later, this fellow, Linus Torvalds, submitted this kernel as a kernel to different people and organizations. This kernel was then integrated into different utilities, which was being developed by other people, making it a total operating system by the name of Linux. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Linux started.
Yes.
Linux started from okay. Then this Linux operating system, as like Unix also, was taken by different organizations, modified accordingly, and released as own operating system. Okay, the Linux was taken by different organizations, modified and enhanced, and released as their own Linux flavor. One of the Linux flavors we have is Red Hat Linux, CentOS Linux, Ubuntu Linux. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now you got to understand how Linux came into existence. Now you will understand what a vendor called Red Hat. Now we will understand what are the different distributions or subscriptions available for the vendor Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, we are here to learn Red Hat in Linux administration course. Okay, so now we will get to understand the Linux operating system developed was taken over by Red Hat team, Red Hat is a company or a vendor who has taken the original Linux operating system and modified accordingly and created their own flavor of Linux called Red Hat Linux. Okay, every Linux operating system, every Linux OS like Red Hat Linux has two distributions of subscription available. They are free edition, commercial editions. Okay, free edition means you can download the software or the OS free of cost and use it. Commercial editions means you need to have license in order to actually use the operating system. Okay, now you got to understand there are two different kind of subscriptions available for any Linux operating system like Red Hat Linux. Then what is the difference between a free operating system and commercial operating system? See here, firstly, difference between a free operating subscription and a commercial edition is first the code developed or utility developed by any Red Hat team or a vendor is first released as part of free subscriptions. Means you have developed an application. Suppose you are a Red Hat vendor, means a company, you are working for Red Hat company and you have actually created some application. This application first is developed and released into free editions. Means the first edition, the code you have developed or application is released into free area. Means free editions will be released. Later, then it is tested, made the code is tested, application is tested, made bug free, make some enhancement, and later the same code or utility is released as commercial editions. Got it? Himanshu, got it?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Priyanka,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You got it, na? What I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Later, what is the other difference between a free edition and a commercial edition is, for a free edition, there is no support from the company. Means, suppose you are taking a free edition, deploying it in your company, or depending on what is your requirement. Suppose there is some issue raised, suppose there is some crash, suppose there is some bug, you don't get any support from a Red Hat team. Means you don't get any support. Means how to fix the problem, you will not get any support. You have to try it yourself. But if you have taken a commercial editions, like here we have mentioned Red Hat Enterprise Linux 1 to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 are the commercial editions which have been given from Red Hat Linux. If you have taken any of this subscription from Red Hat 1 to Red Hat 8, they will give you support. Support means what it means. Suppose you have actually installed, suppose for example there is a crash in file system, suppose there is some corruption, suppose there is some loss of data, suppose there is some malfunctioning of some application which you have installed on Red Hat Linux. These Red Hat Linux which support commercial versions, we will get updates and patches, and also support if you actually the end user raises a ticket. If you have any issue, you raise a ticket and you are going to get a support. The support can be actually physical support, or you can actually get updates or patches for that exact thing. Okay, now coming to Red Hat vendors and distributions. Okay, now you got to understand what are the different subscriptions available. Free edition and commercial edition from any Linux operating system is actually available in two formats: free edition, commercial edition. And now you got to understand difference between a free edition and also commercial edition. Now we will understand different Linux distributions and their vendors. What is the Linux distribution? What is the vendor? Vendor is a person who has actually taken the operating system, modified accordingly, made some changes, and is selling in his name. So different vendors are Red Hat, SUSE, Ubuntu, Fedora, Mandrake, and CentOS, to name a few. There are hundreds and hundreds of other distributions which are available for the same Linux operating system. We can't mention everything here, so I have mentioned few vendors. Himanshu, can you hear me clearly? Is there any disturbance in the call? You can hear my voice clearly?
Yes, sir.
You can hear my voice
There's no
clearly?
noise.
There's no breakage, you know?
Yes,
okay.
sir. There's no breakage.
See, nobody asks us what is the history of Unix, what is the history of Linux. This is just for understanding how it came into existence. Main thing is they will ask you what are the features of Linux operating systems. Okay, what are the features of Linux operating system? The first feature I have mentioned is open source. What is the open source operating system? Any idea?
Yes, sir. A bit.
What is the open source
Means,
We
operating
can
system?
use from any platform.
No, actually, open
Open
source
source,
means,
anyone can use. Yeah, anyone can use.
yeah,
No
open
security
source.
issues. No, yeah,
I will tell you. I'll tell you.
no
Okay,
locking of the.
open source means a code which actually we are using as an operating system is freely available, freely and openly available. Means you can take the code, source code of your operating Linux operating system, make any changes, create new utilities, create new functionalities, create new commands, post it, and actually you can create your own operating system and it will work. Open source means source code is freely available for editing or creating new things. Okay, see, I have given you here example. We can modify the functionality of existing operating system like command, add a new command or a new utility, modify device drivers, etc., and you create your own operating system. There is no issue. Source code is free to use. Second is freeware. Freeware means you need not pay anything to actually use the operating system. Operating system is absolutely free. Third use is multi-user and multitasking operating system. Multi-user means a server operating system where multiple users from different locations can log in into your server, can do their multiple things, like one person can develop a project, one person can send a email, person can actually do some other thing. Everything can be done. Okay. Next comes Linux operating system feature is programming facility. What is a programming facility? This programming facility has been made available to Linux operating system in the format of shell scripting. What is shell scripting is for suppose your example, I have deployed a Linux operating system. On that Linux operating system, I deployed a database, maybe Oracle database to save my company's data. Company's data means my company is having some data. I wanted to automate the task of saving the data. I have created my Oracle database. Oracle is a database where the data is stored on my Linux operating system. Suppose on Sunday, the company is totally off. There, I want to actually create a backup of all the data which has been held in my database. Suppose on Sunday, you can actually create a shell script in such a way that it takes a backup of the database automatically without your intervention. Means you are actually staying in your house, then the shell script will be actually activated at a specific time to take the backup of all the database, backup of all the data in your database. And it will actually send you an email reporting that database backup is successful or database backup is not successful without any intervention. This kind of automation of tasks can be done using shell scripting. This is the programming facility which has been actually given into Linux using shell scripting. Next, what is online help? You can see here what is online help means. Suppose you are actually using any command and you don't know the use of the command or you don't know how to use the options of the command. You can actually get the help of to do that. I'm going to show you how to actually access help for different commands in Linux. For example, Just give me a minute. It is taking some time to load. I'm opening a terminal. For example, I want to show you how to access online help for any command in Linux. So I'm just showing you a small example. mkdir is a command in order to create a directory in Linux, folder or a directory in Linux. Name of the folder is suppose Rajesh. Okay. For instance, you have no idea what are the different options in order to use this mkdir command, make directory. Means make and dir is a directory. So I can actually get the help, online help using man command. Now it's mkdir is the name of make directory command. Name of the command name is make directory, and the different options available for this command mb -m -s -p -z etc. Okay, you can also use info make directory. This is also one kind of information where you can add directories are created with mkdir functions. Okay, this way you can actually have any help regarding any command in Linux. Okay, now you got to understand online help. What is portability? Portability. Himanshu, Himanshu, you have asked, we are learning Red Hat Linux. We are learning Red Hat Enterprise Linux Administration. You are asking, can be this Linux is specific, or you are saying this Linux is actually specific to Red Hat only, or it can be done on any Linux flavor? My answer is here. So, portable. What is portable means the code you have actually, suppose in Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you have, I'll show you a diagram. Okay, suppose you have actually installed a Red Hat RHEL7 server Linux operating system. On this Linux operating system, I have created a website. Means suppose you have started an organization or a company and you want to actually deploy your company's website. Means you have created a new website for your company and you have deployed that company's website on this RHEL7 Linux operating system. So, okay, what we have done here, website. Okay, okay, website name is Durgasoft. Okay, suppose in future you actually wanted to migrate from this Red Hat operating system to, suppose you want to migrate suppose in future you migrated from this RHEL7 operating system to CentOS 7 operating system. Okay, this is CentOS 7 operating system. As you can see here, CentOS operating system. For the migrated, then do you need to recreate your Durgasoft website or your company's website again? My question is, do you need to recreate your website again for this new operating system? Himanshu, answer. Priyanka.
So,
Yes, sir, I'm hearing
sir,
you. I'm just in the journey.
Okay, Imanshu,
so,
if I am migrating my
so we
website,
can.
huh?
So, so, but if if we have at the time of migration, it will be out of business. Means it will not be working. Sorry, I was saying with
See,
off business.
you are asking, see the code or website which I created and I have launched it in RHEL 7 can be directly
Yes, sir.
migrated to CentOS 7. Just copy your website data and the configuration files to CentOS 7 server and run it. It works. Understood?
Okay.
You are asking use our
Yeah.
code specific to Red Hat Enterprise, Red Hat vendor. No, the code which you write in Red Hat Linux can be ported to any CentOS or any other flavor of the Linux. Just copy the website data, just copy the configuration files you use to create that website, and it works. So this way, my OS is portable. Got it?
Okay.
Ivanshu, got it?
Yes.
So
So, but in
you got to understand, if you learn Red Hat Enterprise Linux doesn't mean that you are actually using Red Hat Enterprise Linux. You can actually, with the same knowledge you are using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you can come to or understand any Linux flavor, whether it is CentOS, any Red Hat, other flavors of Linux. You can actually go to SUSE, you can actually jump to Ubuntu, you can actually do the same thing with Fedora. Means if you are learning one flavor, you can migrate to any flavor without any issue. Got it?
yes, sir. Sure.
Himanshu, got it? You are asking the question.
Yes, sir. I got it.
You got the answer for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it.
So you learn one flavor, but that is not specifically that it is working for that flavor only. It can be ported to any flavor and it will work with the same command and functionality. No changes at all. Got it?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you got to understand portability. It can be software ported and it can be hardware ported. Suppose you have created an operating system which is working for some hardware architecture. Suppose you have taken a different hardware. Doesn't it mean that that doesn't work for different hardware? No, it will work. Even for that hardware, different hardware also you change, it will work. Next comes scalability. Okay, what is the scalability means? The same operating system, the same Linux operating system, any flavor, whether it is Red Hat, CentOS, can be deployed on a desktop or your personal computer and also be deployed on a supercomputer without any issue. Same thing. No changes in the installation procedure, what you do, everything. The same OS is scalable to desktop operating system and also work with the supercomputer in the same way. Only you need to configure for desktop, you need to have client configuration file. For supercomputer, you are actually using it as server for a supercomputer. Then you need server configuration. The same OS can work in both ways. And it is
Okay, sir.
highly reliable. You got to understand the feature of Linux operating system. Means not even a single downtime. You have actually created your website for your company. And and that will be running without a single second downtime, never will be down. So perfect it is. And next feature of Linux operating system, it is very secure. Okay, secure means security. Unix provides 3 levels of security. You can see here 3 levels of security. User level security,
Okay.
because Unix is very powerful, very secure. Reason being, these are the 3 types of security that Unix operating system is providing. User level security, file level permissions and data encryption, IP tables and dynamic firewall. User level security means only authorized users can log into the system. Without authorization, nobody can log in. Second, file level security. A file which has been created by a specific user can only modified or read by that specific user only. Though the file has been created by a specific user, that person can only modify or read the file. No other person can read the file. That is the file level permissions or file level security. And third is IP tables and firewall, and also SE tags. These are IP tables, and dynamic firewall is a firewall like Windows firewall. You know that. In Windows, you are having a default firewall. When you are installing Windows, by default, you get some firewall. You know that. Okay. This is the name of the firewall in Linux. Dynamic firewall or IP tables is the name of the firewall in Linux. SE Linux is security enhanced Linux. This is also a type of security enhancement which has been supported in Linux operating system. We will get to know all these things later when we are doing our administration course. Okay. Now, 4 questions are coming. What is the main difference between a Unix and a Linux operating system? Somebody will ask you, what is the main difference between a Linux and Unix operating system? Or somebody can ask you, why is Linux operating system so popular? Okay. They can also ask you, is Linux a server OS or a client OS? Yes, na? Himanshu?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Himanshu, they can ask you
Sir,
these questions. Do you have answer for
yes,
these?
sir,
What
all-
is the difference between a Linux and a 4
So,
questions I am
the
posting
first-
here. Do you have the answer? Tell me.
So a bit, I'm not. So first one is for first one. I think the design of Unix and Linux kernel is different because
No. I will tell you the main difference. That's not the kernel of the Unix and Linux are most of the similar only. They have the same architecture because Linux has been developed from Unix only. So that is not the difference. That's not the kernel difference. Main difference is Unix operating system, though developed in 1973, was taken over by different big organizations like AT&T, Bell Labs, or MIT, and other people. They created their own Unix flavors. These Unix flavors, which have been developed by different organizations, are commercial only. Commercial means you have to pay it. They are very powerful, and they are CUI based, character user. CUI means character user interface, means they are only taken in the form of command, not any GUI. And apart from that, Unix operating systems which were actually developed by, I'm showing this Unix operating flavors here. These flavors are all commercial. These flavors are all CUI. These flavors are all specific to their specific company hardware. Okay. But Linux main difference is between the Unix and a Linux operating system is the Linux operating system. Linux operating system is an open source freeware, platform independent, means any platform it works, not that you have to have specific hardware from the specific company. Red Hat company, you have taken the software operating system, doesn't mean it works on a specific hardware of Red Hat only. No. Linux operating system is a freeware, open source, and works on any platform, any hardware platform it works. But Unix operating system flavors are platform specific, means they need their own hardware. That way Linux is so popular because it is very freeware, open source, platform independent. Got it? Free. Unix, you have to pay lakhs and lakhs of rupees. If you have to take Sun Solaris, you have to buy Sun Solaris Spark machine. You want to buy IBM AX operating system, you have to buy IBM AX operating system, then IBM specific hardware to run this AX operating system, and you have to take license which may be in few lakhs or crores of rupees. But when Linux operating system is totally platform independent, means you can install on any platform, open source and free, and as powerful as Unix operating system. Got it?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Himanshu, got it?
Yes,
So why
yes,
is
sir.
it so popular, and what is the difference?
So,
It is freeware. Unix is not freeware. Original Unix was taken over by different vendors. It is not a freeware, and Unix OS is by default a server OS. Linux OS can be deployed as a client OS as well as server OS. It supports both GUI and CUI. Unix supports only CUI. Got it?
yes, sir.
Got the answer for these questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a
Okay.
question.
Linux is CUI based and GUI based. Tell me.
So my question is,
Tell me.
when we have we have the platform independent case of the Linux, why we are still using Unix?
Yes. Okay. Why we are still using Unix means this Unix was originally developed in 1973, but that original Unix is nowhere used. The original, now the Unix means these companies have implemented, like AT&T, Bell Labs, this has been implemented by these. They have written their specific code for specific reasons. Means the past 15, 20, 25 years only Linux is came into existence. Okay, from the past few years only,
Yes.
20, 25 years only, Linux is into existence. But this Unix, which have been actually taken over by these flavors of Unix like System 5, Sun Solaris, have been in existence from past 30, 35 years. And at that time, there was no Linux. 25 years back, before 25 years back, there was no Linux operating system. Everything has to be purchased. Now, most of the companies, though they have implemented their Unix operating system, are migrating to Linux operating system now. Got it? Now, most of the companies are migrating from the Unix operating system into Linux operating system. Why? Open source, freeware, hardware independent. You can migrate from any Linux flavor to another Linux flavor. Same code and functionality works. Got the answer?
Yes, sir. Sir, one more thing. So,
Tell me.
now we have a cloud-based environment, okay, like
Yes,
Azure, AWS. So there also we can implement Unix, or it's only Linux-based now.
See, the cloud environment means actually a cloud is a platform on which you can actually deploy multiple servers and you can actually give support to multiple people, different applications. That is the meaning of cloud.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, though cloud environment, this Amazon Web Services is one of the cloud environment. They also have their own cloud operating systems, which are actually based on original Unix or original Linux kind of operating system only, but which supports a different type of scalable thing. See,
Okay.
I am using virtualization software here. You can see here. This is my virtualization software here. You can see Workstation Pro.
Yes.
What is this Workstation Pro? What is this workstation, this VMware workstation? This is a virtualization software. Does it mean that it is actually
Yes.
something different? This is an application created in such a way where I can deploy multiple Linux or Windows operating system in one single hardware architecture. Means this is working as a proxy system which actually simulating a environment, hardware environment or physical environment on which I can deploy multiple. Why I am doing for virtualization? Only thing is that same hardware can be used by different things. In one computer, if I install one server, suppose in a specific usage, I need multiple servers. So I don't need to go for multiple hardware. I can actually deploy the same virtualization here. On that virtualization, I can deploy multiple operating systems. That way, I am actually saving my money and also time. Do I need to buy any extra server and all other thing because of virtualization? The cloud is also kind of thing only, where if a company, small example, if a company is having 100 people, you need to actually deploy something. Means a company requires a server for their files, for their project, for their website. So the company cannot afford lakhs and lakhs of rupees. If a small company you are starting, which are 10 people only, if you want to have your own server, you have to buy your own server, you have to buy your own hardware, software, a person who maintains that. This is all very expensive. Cloud is making in such a way that you can actually buy whatever you want, which has been deployed on cloud, take it on rental basis, you pay it. Got it?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So cloud
So,
also, it is a virtualization kind of thing, some kind of virtualization only, where you can actually deploy multiple machines, manage those multiple machines, and give multiple type of services to different users for a free for a little amount of money.
okay, sir.
Okay. Now next question is, now you got to understand Linux is CUI based OS. Now you got to understand these 4 questions, man. See here, difference between Unix and Linux. Why is Linux so popular?
Yes,
Is
sir.
Linux a server OS or client OS? Is Linux CUI based or GUI based? Linux is both CUI and GUI. It supports both. Okay. Now my next question is last question. What is more powerful, CUI, GUI? According to you,
So,
CUI means character user interface, command user interface, or character user interface is more powerful or less powerful than a GUI, graphical user interface?
so it depends on the function of the particular operating system.
Okay, actually CUI is more base, but GUI is more popular because it can be learned easily. So I will just show you. Suppose I want to create 100 directories in a correct directory. I want to create 100 directories. Using a GUI kind of thing, you have to create each directory by right clicking that, like this, right click, give new folder, then leave the name of the folder. Okay, you want to create 100 directories, how much time it takes? Each by each?
Yes. So it
It
is
takes lot
lagging, so
of
we cannot able to see. So we cannot able to see the screen. Means
my
we cannot
internet is
see that
fine.
if you. So it is lagging.
You can see.
Now we can see. Yes, sir.
Thing is that in GUI, if you want to create those 100 directories one by one, I have to go right click, give new folder, and then create. Okay, it takes time. Okay,
Yes.
I want to show you a small example how CUI is more powerful than GUI and how easy it is to use the CUI. See, I am creating a directory in my current directory, which is root. Okay, nkdir r. As you can see here, there are no files here. Using CUI, I'm trying to create 100 directories. Okay. I have created 100 directories in a single touch. Under 500 files I have created in a single command. In order to create these 100 files in GUI, you have to do like this. Go right click, create a folder. Folder name is some RRR. Then the folder is created. Open that folder. Create a file. This way you have to create each and every file. It takes time, but in it, if you use CUI, you can actually do it in fraction of seconds. So CUI is more powerful than GUI, but the main advantage of GUI being without any help of others, you can actually learn. Learning curve is less in GUI. CUI being command based, you need to know the command, you need to know the format of the option should be given to the command. That way, okay? Now you got to understand what is more powerful, CUI, GUI.
So CUI.
Himanshu, CUI is
The
more powerful.
CUI.
You got to understand, na? CUI is more powerful. Okay. So now, shall we go with the operating system and its components?
So I am comfortable.
Actually, this is the end of time because I already taken it for more than 1 hour because I have to close the session. Okay, tomorrow will be the next section. Himanshu, how is my
Yes, sir.
how are you able to understand what
So
I'm saying?
yes, sir. I can able to hear. It is good, sir. The only problem is the breaking of that session. The voice was breaking. Otherwise, everything was
Where
good.
I don't know, man. Here my internet is showing perfectly only. I don't know why it is breaking and all. For me, I can hear your voice very clearly, but I don't know why you are not able to hear or see my screen properly. Okay, Himanshu.
So at the time,
So,
sir, whenever you open that
tell
VMware,
me,
right?
Himanshu.
At that time it is, sir. At that
Ah,
time it is happening. I think that's why I don't know because
oh,
VMware also use the internet, the same line that we are
maybe
using.
we
So when it's
also
come to the
not
mobile,
on. Okay.
maybe due to
So,
that, sir, I'm not
Himanshu,
sure.
now you got to understand. Okay, Himanshu, today we got to understand what is our focus point was history of Unix and Linux. Yeah, most of the people, no one asks what is the history of Linux, what is the history of Unix, but they will ask these questions. These questions: what are the different subscriptions, free editions and subscriptions? What is the difference between a free edition and a commercial edition? Later, they will ask you, maybe they will ask you what are the different vendors or flavors of Linux operating system, and they will ask you. Important thing is features of Linux operating system. Okay, open source, what is freeware, what is multitasking platform. This is what important. Later, somebody can ask you what is the main difference between a Linux and Unix operating system. Means if Unix operating system is there, why they are preferring Linux operating system? Okay, but because Linux is free, Linux is independent, Linux is open source. So that is the main difference. And most of the people who are actually using this expensive Unix operating system are migrating to Linux operating system now. Okay, and if the application is developed for a specific Linux vendor or a specific Linux operating system, this application can be ported. I gave you example of the website created in Red Hat Enterprise Linux web server. Apache web server created in a Red Hat Linux can be ported. Same the post, take the configuration files and your source file, copy it to the CentOS server, rerun it, and it works exactly the same. Means if you learn any Linux vendor, means Red Hat Linux you learn Ubuntu Linux, you can migrate or you can actually do the same thing in other Linux vendors without any issue. So this way, Linux is very popular. You got to understand the answers for this, Himanshu?
Yes, sir.
Why is
Yes,
it popular?
So, sir, but at the time of migration, if you're moving from one location to another location, so is there any means the business continuity goes off or not? Because if you're migrating the data from one server, then is it
without getting your server down? There is one way. There are some utilities like SCP and other RCopy. There are few utilities where you can actually, though your system is running on RHEL7, it is up and running. You don't want to take it down. You run some utilities which actually copy your real-time data to some other application server, which is a remote server for CentOS. I'm just saying, just copy it whenever you are thinking that this new system is very much ready with all the settings, with all the options set. Just run it and just down this, and that is running. Got it? You don't need to actually take your system down, means your website down, copy it for some time, then up it. Let that thing run on that original system only, just to run some utilities which actually copy your data back to different or remote system or the new system. Run it, set it up, just up it, and then down the original
one. Okay, sir. Okay.
Got it, na?
Yes, sir.
Now you got the answer of these things. Now we have to go for the components of the operating system, but it is already time up because I have taken more than our class. So I will be taking this class tomorrow. Himanshu, how do you like it? Is it okay? You are getting whatever I'm saying. Maybe the disturbance kind of thing is creating a problem to you because of the disturbance. But how's my teaching and all? Is that information okay for you?
Yes, sir. For me, it is okay.
Okay.
Even I'm going to miss.
What?
Yes, sir. I'm going to join it tomorrow. I'm going to join it tomorrow.
This is not so important. Tomorrow is the most important thing. What is the operating system components? How is the kernel? How is the shell working? How the command executes actually? This all will be told tomorrow. Apart from this, after this operating system, this components of the operating system, tomorrow we are going to discuss. After that, we are going to see the installation of Red Hat Enterprise Linux or CentOS Linux. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Himanshu.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See you then.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night now. Good night. See you tomorrow.
You as well, sir.
8 o'clock.
Yes, sir.